Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 23 of the Flow University YouTube channel. This is Stefan D. Boating, and in today's episode, we'll be talking about relational fitness, specifically discussing how individuals are suitable and in a state of being where they can fit into a relationship that they are desiring and have been longing for. The current modern everyday individual is dealing with a state of loneliness, and by understanding your relational fitness, you can determine what you need to work and improve on so that you are a fit for a potential mate, spouse, or any relationship, whether that be friends, families, or communities. I hope you all enjoyed this week's episode of the Flow University YouTube channel. Let's get started. The meeting of two personalities is like the contact of two chemical substances. If there is any reaction, both are transformed. Carl Jung. As we start episode 23 of the Flow University YouTube channel, talking about relational fitness, as we go into key number 1, suitability. Guys, I'm going to be a bit harsh with you to start this week's episode. A lot of individuals are not suitable to be in relationships, simply because a lot of individuals, they have not gone on the journey of self-discovery and really understanding themselves. And so when you do not understand yourself, then you look outward and you use others to determine what yourself is. And this is what creates a sense of neediness. This is how people become obsessed with others. And this is what leads to toxic situations, because you then want to hold on to other people. You use other people as a lifeline because you're essentially using them as a basis in order to understand yourself. And so you take people and you put them as a foundational piece, a pillar in what really is upholding your life. But guys, you have to be the one who is in charge of your own life. And the main reason why a lot of individuals are dealing with loneliness in today's modern society is because they're looking for the ideal projection in their mind of what they believe what a suitable mate is. And so they don't actually see other human beings as the in-depth people they are. They almost see other human beings like something that can be purchased, something that can be bought, and something that can be sold at. And so when you view humans in this manner, you only view them in the quick, simple, easy identification that immediately comes in mind, and you never look past the surface level appearance that represents itself to you. Now, appearances can tell you some things about a certain individual. Obviously, if someone doesn't have their hair cut, if their nails aren't clean, if they're wearing very dirty clothes, that could give you some underlying markers in what's going on. But same thing if someone's dressed very nicely, they have very expensive clothes on, that can give you underlying. But after that, after the superficiality of the individual, then you really get to see the character of a person, the personality of a person. What's the underlying value system of that person? How do they operate in the real world? What does this person do when the doors are closed? That'll tell you a lot about a person. And so a lot of individuals aren't suitable because a lot of people aren't secure within themselves. They're not grounded. They're not centered. And so a lot of individuals, they'll run to relationships, even form in relationships. This doesn't just have to be with a significant other or a potential spouse and mate. This could even be with friends and family. They'll run to these people and they'll hold on to them for dear life. And yes, you do want support systems, but you don't want to be everyone knows the person in the family that the second something happens or the second something goes on, you're getting the phone call, and they're almost like a beacon of drama instead of a promoter of peace. And so you don't want to become a promoter of drama and unnecessary toxicity in relationships. This is what ends relationships before they get rolling. And this is what stops people from really being able to get in those long-term relationships that they're looking for. And so modern society promotes short-term flings, short-term situationships. But the average everyday individual, what they must understand is that if you undergo a journey of improvement and self-discovery, then you will meet people along the way who are doing the exact same things. And when you're interacting with these people and you're beginning to connect with them, you're connecting to learn and grow with them and to share your insights. This is how you individuate. This is how you begin to see the in-depth nature of a person. You begin to see how unique each human is. You don't get with the person because you believe this person is the ideal within your mind. No, the ideal within your mind is just a subcomponent of your personality that you've pieced together from external experiences and internal biases, and you've placed them together to manufacture this entity within your mind that you believe is your ideal, but in reality, it's actually a subcomponent of your personality. So in reality, the most compatible partner for you in the external environment is someone of the complete opposite to your ideal. That's where you will see the strongest polarity. And that person is where you would grow the most. So for myself, I'll use myself as an example. I'm an extreme introvert. And so it's hard for me to be in very extroverted situations. Now, I can become an extrovert if I need to, but I'm mostly introverted. And so for me, I see the most polarity when I'm with people who are extreme extroverts, because they drag me out of my shell, and they force me to be in the environment. So it creates this crazy polarity. But when I'm with another introvert, then nothing really happens, because I'm in my shell, they're in their shell, and nothing really, there's no polarity. We're just sitting there. So a lot of times the person who's the most suitable for you is the person who's the exact opposite for you, because that person is going to force you to grow. If you're the person who you work all the time and you're by the book and you're very regimented and nothing, you have your system, then the best person for you would be someone who's kind of spontaneous, kind of adventurous, someone who's a little chaotic. And that person will help you to grow the most. And so even going deeper, a lot of people aren't suitable in relationships because they haven't gotten their life together yet. They don't even understand what they want in terms of their long-term visions within their life. And so what it means, a lot of people, because of modern society and the programming by modern society, they believe that they need to be in relationships like all the time. And the reality is that you don't. Sometimes it's better to be by yourself and determine, what do you want out of a relationship? What do you actually need from the relationship? And it's not being needy. It's you determining, okay, this is how I am. This is how I work. This is how I function. This is how I operate. And I'm not looking for this superhero in my mind. I'm actually looking for another human being, and then determining, okay, this is the vision I want for my life, and seeing, does this person fit within that? But also because every relationship is a compromise, because if there's no compromise, then it's immediately a dictatorship, and it becomes totalitarian. So you need to compromise when you meet this person, understand that they have their vision, you have your vision, and how can you guys merge these two visions together and merge those two worlds together? And now you guys have a grand vision with both of you guys working towards that set destination together. And if you can find the person who coincides with you, that if you and that other person work together in tangent together, it's not going to throw either of you off the path that you're working towards, then you guys there's synergy there. There's compatibility there. And now there's a suitable relationship. But a lot of people, because they don't do the work, they don't heal, they don't improve, and they don't develop, and they don't have any external things going on, then when they meet someone for a relationship, then the person immediately becomes their world. And they immediately believe that person should be 100% of their focus. And the detrimental effect of that is that then when that person feels overwhelmed by the pressure you're placing on them to uphold this ideal that you have, then they want to run from you. So then they run, because when the way energy works is that if you have two polarities, right, they come together. But then when there's a flip and you have two negatives, then there's a retraction. And then there has to be a flip before the polarity can re-spark and there can be a re-coming together. So what needs to happen is that you need to become knowledgeable about how relationships work, so that you're not hampering people down and you're not becoming the person that people dread to even be around for long durations of time. And so this is how you become fit for relationships. Now, for communities, to make sure that you're fit for communities and being in a relationship standpoint from that, you need to give to communities. Now, being in a community isn't a one-way streak. Yes, you can come into the community and you can give certain things and you can be with certain people and you want to interact with certain ways, but that doesn't mean you give everything and fully. You don't want to like fall into a cult. But at the exact same time, if you do nothing, then you become a taker for the community, and essentially the community views you as a liability and not an asset. So I know this sounds bad, but this is when you get high level. For communities, you want to become an asset. When you become an asset for a community, you immediately become that person. You become that guy, that woman, where, if something goes down, hey, Jim and John, they're having a disagreement, we need to call Bob. The water fountain just broke, we need to call Bob. We're out of water, Bob. Hey, we need this much money, Bob. You become the person that people go to because they know you're going to give. When you are able to give to the community and you're able to fully immerse yourself within the community, then you become an asset for the community, and now you're fit and you're suitable to be within that community. A lot of times, a lot of reasons why certain individuals, and this helps individuals to also be aware of which communities they should be interacting with. Because some people, they're in communities that they're not fit to be in. So if you're in, for example, we're talking about fitness. I'm a fitness guy. So if I'm in a fitness community, like a CrossFit community or a bodybuilding community or a Olympic weightlifting sport or a basketball group, like I can be in those communities because I'm a fitness guy. I love fitness. I love working out, movement, all that stuff. But if you're a person and you hate working out and you hate movement, then maybe being in a fitness community isn't the best place for you because you can work out on your own time. You get a trainer or something like that. But if you're in the fitness community, your energy isn't one to give because this isn't your natural state. You're not suitable to be in that community. Maybe the best community for you would be the chess club or the book club or a crochet or artwork, or maybe you love cooking, so you do cooking classes. So it's finding the community that you're suitable for. Now, friends. Now, when you're dealing with trying to form social circles and establishing friendships. With friendships, you need to understand that with friendships, it's not like dealing with your family in the beginning stages. There's stages to friendship. And I believe that there's 4 stages to friendship. The first stage is what I call the acquaintanceship, where you simply know this person, you've interacted with them a couple of times, you guys might have had a few conversations, and you guys might have gone to a couple places together, or you guys just go to the same venues. Let's say you go to church or you go to your mosque and you guys just see each other and you have conversation, a couple of conversations. Like that's an acquaintance. Or coworkers. A lot of coworkers are acquaintances. This is stage 1 of friendship. Then you go into stage 2. Stage 2 is what I call level 1 of friendship. This is where you guys are okay with calling each other friends, but you're not at the level where you might not even have exchanged phone numbers. You're just comfortable with being with that person, probably just you and that person alone, and you guys are out with other people and you're cool with having conversation with them and other people. But besides just calling them a friend and when you see them and you guys just being cool together, that's as far as your friendship go. Then I'll say level 2 of friendship. This is where you get into more of the tight-knit group, where you get more into those friendship circles. This is where you guys are exchanging phone numbers. You follow each other on social media. Now you guys are collectively going out to places and venues. You guys might be going out to like vacations together and planning like trips. That's when you get into like that level of friendship. And now I say the next level of friendship, probably the most impactful, I would call like, this is when you get into like best friends. This is when you get like close, tight bonds. Level 4, that's when you get into like this is my boy right here. Like this is my ride and die. You feel me? That's when you get like lifelong friendships. That's when you get like people who get like tattoos together. So in order to be suitable for that, you have to individuate and be your own person. Going to key number 2, healing. A lot of reason why most individuals have a low level of relational fitness is because a lot of people carry a lot of trauma. You have to do the work. You have to go all the way to the root. A lot of episodes within the Flow University YouTube channel, I discuss ways for you to become more aware so that you can, at the very least, be comfortable with working with someone else, a health professional, who is able to go deep and help you with some of the more darker aspects of that trauma. And I know trauma can get very personal, especially if you were raped, especially if you were assaulted, especially if you're dealing with very manipulated people, especially if you were in very chaotic environments, if you were coming from a war-torn country, if you're coming from a third world country, if you're in a situation where you're dealing with mental illness, you're depressed, you have high anxiety, paranoia. There's situations where you have to really get into the weeds and see what's going on there. You might have, I've seen people who've cut themselves. So like you have to really work through these things and see, okay, I want to be more fit to be in relationships, but this trauma is what is making me uncomfortable to interact with other humans and connect with them and to trust them. And so you have to work with people. You have to go really deep. I would suggest really talking to a psychiatrist, you're going to have to do a lot of psychology work and not just leaving it up, because I will say this. A lot of people know the work that they need to do. So for myself, I know that once a week I need to sit down, turn on the mic, turn on the camera, and talk to you guys about a specific topic in terms of fitness that might have to do with something else as well. I know the work I need to do. I know all the preparations I need to make. I know all the prerequisites. I know what I have to do afterwards. And so a lot of individuals, you guys know what it takes in order to heal. Now, I'm not going to say it's not fun. It's like I woke up later in the day today. I slept in today because it's the weekend and I go to work tomorrow. And I woke up today and I was like, I did not feel like doing this. But again, going back, I did some subtle things. I worked up, I ramped things up, and now I'm sitting here talking to you guys. So over time, you can improve and you can get to the point where at the very least you're comfortable with placing yourself in the situation where help can be provided for you so that you can heal, so that from that, the trauma can be dealt with, so that when you meet guys, I'll say this, and I know in terms of relationships, it's not just about like mates and partners and stuff, but I've met women who I knew if we met like a year or two later, that would have been the person I probably would have been with for the rest of my life. And in reflection on that, because I would be in meditative states and have like deep reflection, I'm like, dang, like I'd have met this person like 3 months later. That would have been perfect. And that's really how life is. Like you strike gold at the right time. Now you're a millionaire. You strike gold at the right time, or now you're in prison. So it's wrong person, wrong time, right person, right time. So it's keeping you aware that if you prepare yourself, then when the opportunity arises, then you can step up, you can go. But I've met people, it was the right person, it was the wrong time. So it's helping you to understand that when you're getting ready to undergo this journey, that the end result, now in the present, you might not see the final product, but the hope in the future, as you step towards it, it will manifest more for you. So this is you essentially saving yourself. So, and I want y'all to do that, because I would hate for you. Like now, I thank myself now, because now I know the next person I meet, the likelihood of it being right person, right time has increased because I've done the work and I've improved myself. But if you don't do the work and you don't improve yourself, and this doesn't even go for like women or guys you're dating. This goes for communities. Let's say you want to join a church, or you want to join a mosque, or you want to go to a temple or meet with some spiritual master to gain some more insight. Or let's say you want to advance your career. Let's say you want to get a promotion. Let's say you want to work on some other endeavor. Well, if you haven't done any work beforehand, when you start to do the real work, you won't be ready for the opportunity when it presents itself. You want the promotion, but you've been cutting corners in your job. So now when it comes time for the promotion and whoever the boss exec is, and they tell you, hey, I need you to give me a presentation on the work you've done for the past 3 months. And you've been cutting corners for the last 3 months. And when you give the presentation, they'll see a dip in the performance because you've been cutting those corners. They're going to look at you like, I'm sorry, dog, I can't give you the promotion. Come back in another 6 months. Now you just lost 5-10% raise in your income because you're cutting corners because you didn't do the work beforehand. So now, after the next 6 months, you're going to put in the work. Now when it's time for you to go in that presentation again, what's going to happen? You're going to kill it. Everything going to be right. So it's making sure you do all that. So key number 3, projection. I talked about this a little bit in key number 1. A lot of individuals, they fall too much into imagination, fantasy, and delusion. There's nothing wrong with these 3, right? If you have creativity, you can use creative imagination. You can even work with fantasy to conjure up grand narratives. This is great for storytelling. This is great for drama. This is great for the artistic works in human life, entertainment. But when it comes to reality, sometimes this can limit you. Now, a lot of humans, because we view life from a story aspect, from first person, and us living our life and we're the main character within that story, a lot of times what happens is that a lot of individuals will create grander narratives than is necessary, and they will project certain roles to certain people when in reality, so this is like, your name is, let's say you're Tom, right? And you're Tom, and it's your first day in high school, and you walk into the cafeteria, you brought your lunch from home, and you're looking for a table. And this is how I know when people have a low degree of overall collective human understanding and intelligence, is because this is immediately what they'll do. If you're a person and you think like this, there's nothing wrong with thinking like this. This can help you if you're in very chaotic environments and you need to be able to piece things together quickly, but it limits you in your personal life endeavors because you never are able to go deeper than what you're immediately like, you're snapping to the surface. And the problem with this is that you're never able to network effectively. Because if you want to network at a high level, then you need to be able to conversate with people no matter what they look like. He might look like a bum off the street, but he probably got like millions of dollars, but it will make no sense to you rationally in your mind. But for some reason, this dude is loaded. And if you talk to him like a regular human being and you go in there, then they'll be willing to help you out. So going back to my analogy, Tom has his lunch from home. He walks into the cafeteria and he's looking off about all the different places and he wants to find a place to sit. And so in his mind, he says, I want to be one of the cool kids. So he looks around and he sees an athlete and he labels that table as the athlete table. Then he sees another table. All right, those are the popular kids. Then he sees another table. Oh, those are the nerds. Then he sees another table. Oh, those are the geeks. Then he says, oh, that's another table. Those are the delinquents. Then he sees another table. Those are the losers. Then he sees another table and he says, oh, these are the goth people. And then he sees the kids all the way in the back and he sees them like getting lunch from the cafeteria. Oh, these are kids that need a little assistance. And so he decides that he's going to choose the table where he's going to sit at. And so he finds a table where he is thinking that these are the cool people. And he sits down at this table. And so throughout the rest of his high school career, quotation marks, he sits with these people and he believes that these are the cool people. But then at the end of high school, come to find out that in reality, each person was unique because not every person from the cool table ended up in doing cool things in life. He ended up doing some cool things in life, But 10 years down the line, the high school reunion, he's talking from the athlete who's now a best-selling author. He's talking to the nerd who's now this fitness model. He's talking to the popular cheerleader who's now nothing wrong with single mothers. Y'all gonna get mad at me for this. Nothing wrong with that, but she's a single mother. Then he's talking to the kid in the back who needs assistance, and he's a millionaire. Makes you think. So it's keeping your eyes open and realizing that the immediate projection might not be reality. It might be what the outer world has been feeding you and telling you how to think. So stop using movies and social media and other people. So it's like, do this thought experiment and you'll learn a lot. When the Nazi regime came to power and they decided to get rid of all the Jews, there were people in that regime before it came to power that could have stopped it. But they also projected certain things to the populace. Hitler came into power because he took advantage of the German people's projection of hate towards the Jewish people. That's all he did. Hitler didn't create hate. Hate already existed. Hitler just shifted and used the tool of Nazism to streamline the hate towards the people and then use that to further promote his agenda. And I'm not saying for the average everyday human, it's that extreme, but you should at least be aware of what are you projecting out? Are you projecting disgust? Are you projecting distaste, hate, joy, envy, pride, ecstasy, bliss, obsession? It's interesting when I'm with a lot of people and they talk about celebrities. They give these celebrities a godlike status. It's like they're not human. Don't be that human. Key number 4, giving. Guys, relationships are all about giving. This is why this is the primary purpose. If you want to know the meaning to life, if you're on some grand spiritual journey, if you're trying to figure out purpose, you can boil it all down to one thing. And this is it: giving. You're giving whether you want to or not. You're giving to yourself. Your heart is always giving to you. Your heart is always beating. You're breathing. You're breathing all the time. The air is moving. You're getting oxygen freely. If there wasn't giving, you'd be dead. You wouldn't even exist. The earth wouldn't rotate. The sun wouldn't shine. Gravity wouldn't work. Gravity is literally giving you the burden of being able to stand on Earth. So even burdens give you something. So if you want to be fit for a relationship, you have to give. You can't withhold. And you can't withhold aspects of yourself. And you can't withhold the fullness of what you could be for other people. Just because some people are less developed from a character standpoint does not mean that you need to swoop or dive to their level of madness. I believe that your character can improve when people treat you the worst, and you're still able to hold integrity to yourself. So someone treats you like shit, excuse my language, but someone treats you like shit, but you still have so much integrity that it doesn't impact your character in the slightest. They do something crazy to you, and the next day you wake up and you keep it pushing because you have goals, dreams, you have vision. That person just wanted to get a kick out of throwing you off track, but it couldn't really affect you because you have greater things in mind. So you can give without really caring about the consequences, positive, negative, or anywhere in between. And this is what a lot of people got to understand. You see, this is why humans, this is the whole premise behind game, right? So like, I've learned a little bit of game in the past. Dudes are always teaching other dudes game, but women know game too. And the whole premise of game is that we're going to play this game to see if I can get what I want out of this situation before I get hurt. So I can take advantage of you and get out before this turns into something where it might lead to me having more trauma. So if the first thing, if you want to win game, like game for real, the first thing to win game is not to play the game. That's how you win. That's how you win. That's literally how you beat the game. You don't play the game. You play your own game. You play your own unique game. I'm not playing that game. I'm not doing that. I got my own thing going on. Now, if we come together and we can do some beautiful, something that's never, like, I've never existed ever in the history of existence. You've never existed in the history of existence. So we could create something that's never been done before in the history of existence and have it be beautiful, like a melody, like a new song. It could be the next hit blockbuster. But you can't do that if you're playing the same game that everyone else is playing. It becomes redundant. Imagine playing the same song 1,000 times. At some point, you're gonna get sick of the song. But for some reason, you keep playing the song because it's just what's familiar to you. You've been programmed. You've been programmed to play the same song over and over and over and over again. And now you gotta play the same game over and over and over again, even though you know how it's gonna end. Don't let that happen to you. Key number 5, harmony. So you can't, a lot of humans in modern society, they begin the relationship backwards. The whole purpose of interacting with another human is to at some point create a sense of harmony. And I tell you right now, if you really connect with humans on a deep level and you see this, I want you guys, you can really see this with like tight families or like brothers and sisters, siblings and people who've lived their whole lives together. Go and like, just watch how they interact with each other. There's a sense of harmony there because like, if you've been around someone who's known you your whole life, you can't hide nothing from them. They already know you. You can't hide nothing from them. Like, this is you. They'll know if you're acting because they've seen all your other antics. And so if you want to create harmony in a relationship, it's going to sound real cliche, but you just got to be yourself. That's how you create harmony. And then over time, the depth of it will take on new forms and new flavors. And then from that, it will grow and evolve because each person, and again, I know I'm talking about just like two unique people, but like this is for communities as well. Like if you see like if you see like a football team, right? Or like a sports team, and you see like in the beginning of the season, the sports team might not be they might not have that wavelength. Might not be on the same wavelength. Not everyone might not know their role. The communication might be a little off. But then you see that same team by come time for the playoffs, they're playing like they've been playing with each other for their whole life. They have that harmony. They're on that same flow. So once you get there, then I mean, sky's the limit. Sky's the limit. Like I'll see people who like have been together for years, and it's like it's scary how like they walk the same. Each person is able to finish the other sentence. Dudes, when they playing ball together, like, it's like they don't even gotta look at the person. They don't even gotta say nothing. They just know what to do. Dude will shoot me. Dog, I got a friend who texts me like we won't see each other for weeks, and just start texting each other out of nowhere, like the conversation never ended. So that's when you create that sense of that deep sense, and that's when you'll know, like, okay, like I guess I'm fit for relationships. I hope you all have enjoyed this week's episode of the Flow University YouTube channel. This is Stefan D. Boning signing off. You all enjoy the rest of your day and stay blessed.